Hi everyone, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Chandrakant Putta. Along with me, I have my colleague Vijay Belebel. Vijay, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi everybody. This is Vijay Balabayal. Uh, been with Oracle product development for 3 decades, but the work is always learning the new technology and help partners and customers adopt this technology. That's the role. So, hence, we are now talking about this latest Oracle features and functionality. Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, Vijay. Um, Welcome to this session. Talk with industry-specific domain data and gain insights using SelectAI. We all know that generative AI is taking the industry by storm. Everyone is finding amazing ways to apply AI not only to business needs but personal use as well. Using common chatbots from AI providers like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and others offers a lot of value but can come up short when answering questions on your specific data. That data can include private and enterprise databases, but it can also include unstructured text residing in the object stores. I would like to introduce you to a technology that can address both of these scenarios and a few more. Select AI allows you to develop applications using generative AI, specifically LLMs and transformers, easily using with Select AI, SQL and PL SQL. Basically, Select AI originated as a component to generate SQL from natural language questions or prompts using the metadata from tables in your database. It was first launched with Autonomous Database 19C, then with 23AI Autonomous Database, and we recently announced this Select AI NL to SQL capability with non-Oracle, non-autonomous databases with 23.7 release. But in addition to the SQL generation, you can also leverage Select AI for broadly to develop applications where it involves email generation, recommendation, sentiment analysis, and among others. And it also can serve as an developer assistant generating SQL. For example, if you are an SQL beginner or a SQL expert, you can use this particular tool for productivity purposes. And another popular use case is to build applications where your end users can interact with the data using natural language in a variety of languages. And it also expanded um, the features. It can also work with RAG from unstructured data from your knowledge bases, and also it can support generating data, what we call as synthetic data generation. The key enabler for Select AI is the large language models. I think you might have already been using these LLMs, or you might have heard about them. We all know that they are good for generating text content for tasks like answering questions, extracting an information, or generating code, or providing sentiment analysis. But what happens if we ask an LLM about listing your top 10 customers by revenue? Or what is your internal corporate policy on a topic? It is more likely that LLM may not be able to answer these type of questions, in a meaningful way. And this is where SelectAI comes in to solve that problem. And we all know that LLMs aren't perfect. They can also make mistakes like hallucination, and it can show bias where the model gives a confident answer that sounds right but isn't true, often due to missing context or gaps in the training. It can also reflect or augment biases present. For example, the output can be one-sided too. Examples like articles that mention only one gender of doctors. And there are also some limitations. The LLM can knows only information up to its last training date. It may miss newer events, and it doesn't know your business or confidential data unless you include or connect that information to the LLM. And models have token like word or character limits, how much you can send and receive in one go. And Select AI can help address such issues. Um, Select AI allows you to use natural language to query data and get responses using generative AI. It can achieve this using LLMs from multiple AI providers. This includes OCI GenAI service, OpenAI, Azure, Cohere, and we recently added Google, Anthropic, Hugging Face, and also OpenAI API compatible providers. And SelectAI provides you several actions for interacting with LLMs and your database. We will look at each of these actions in more detail. With autonomous database, SelectAI and SelectAI NL to SQL, we can use multiple AI providers with your database. These are the LLMs which SelectAI supports. But let me take a step back and see what if we don't have SelectAI. Let's say we are running a movie streaming business and want to generate SQL to find our top 10 streamed movies. Consider this result from one of the earlier versions of ChatGPT. It gives a decent description and a generated SQL query, while it produced a syntactically correct query, but it had to invent or hallucinate the tables like movie, stream data, as well as their columns. And it even correctly performed the aggregation, the ordering, and skimming of the top rows. Of course, the problem is that if we try to run this query on our database, we would expect it to fail as our tables are likely different. So how does this work with Select AI? We basically start with the user's natural language prompt, and we augment it with the database schema, metadata, and other instructions. Then this augmented prompt is provided to the LLM. Then it generates an SQL query. For example, consider the prompt like find the top 3 baby boomer big spenders. For this, we are relying on the general knowledge of the LLM to understand what a baby boomer is and how to compute a big spender. The metadata we are including is from the tables in your database. This includes the table and the column names, data types, and optionally comments. But how do you tell Select AI which tables to use? We may have many tables in our schema, right? Here there are a few tables we see in the movie streaming service. And if we look at enterprise customers and applications, we'll have hundreds or thousands of tables even in the same schema. This typically needs to be reduced to select a few to limit the volume of metadata sent to the LLM so as to not exceed the token limits, while at the same time helping the LLM to produce more accurate queries. How do we achieve this? We achieve this with the help of an AI profile. We use the package called dbms underscore cloud underscore AI package, which supports Select AI. You specify an AI profile with the choice of your AI provider, a credential object name, which gives you access to that provider's service, the model you want to use, and the list of tables to include for SQL generation. You can also specify other attributes like, enabling conversation or comments or a RAG among other features. If you look at this example, the provider is an OpenAI and the model we are leveraging is GPT-4.0, and the set of tables that you would like Select AI to consider when generating SQL queries are chosen from the movie stream schema. And if you are working in a stateful database session, you need to set this profile to be used in subsequent Select AI invocations from the SQL command line. And if you are building applications and using a stateless session, you can use the dbms underscore cloud underscore AI generate function, which takes an AI profile as an explicit argument. It's also worth noting that AI profile makes it easier for you to switch among AI providers and also the LLMs, as well as other settings to quickly compare the results. You can create several AI profiles depending on your application or business requirements. These are some of the access list of AI profiles. You can query these and get the AI profiles of that particular user and the attributes of that particular profile. Uh, in addition to show SQL, there are also several other Select AI actions that you can use. The default is run SQL, which takes the generated query and runs it in the database to produce a row set. That particular row set is returned to the user. It is also worth noting that Oracle security policies enforce data access rules as for any other SQL query. The narrate action extends this step further. It takes your row set and pass it to the LLM to generate a textual description of that particular query result. And also, it is important to note that narrate for NL2 SQL is the one action that sends the table data, the results of the query to the LLM. And if you are concerned about sending the actual data to the LLM, you have at least two options. Choose not to use this action or use an LLM in an environment you are comfortable with, perhaps OCI GenAI service, or you can also have a private endpoint LLM where you host that LLM in a private host, and so that the environment is so secure. And also this particular narrate action is used for retrieval augmentation generation. The chat action is a pass through to the LLM where it takes your prompt and passes it to the LLM and it returns the response. And you can do whatever type of manual prompt engineering you would like and invoke that through the SQL. In this example, we are using SelectAI chat and asking the question, what is Oracle Autonomous Database? Another important feature of SelectAI is the use of conversations for chatbot-like behavior. When enabled, the SelectAI remembers up to your last 10 prompts and adds them to the current prompt. You can use this with chat and but also for data exploration with other SQL SelectAI actions. Basically, you can ask a question and review the response and follow up with more questions to refine the result without explicitly re-specifying the previous prompt. Let's see an example for each.
Yeah,
For
before
example,
that, can you pause and ask if there are any questions so far? You can either raise your hand and we will let you speak. Yeah, so uh, Chandra, can you enable the audience to speak because we have uh, or send the question to Q&A.
hey, hi
Yeah,
Eric, you can speak.
Yeah, just a quick question. So far what I'm seeing here with Select AI is it's similar to the other tools like an MCP tools. Select AI has actions on the MCP side of the world. They're known as tools from what I'm seeing here. Is that about right? And agentic AI can easily work with MCP servers. Can agentic AI take advantage of Select AI?
Um,
uh,
that is something.
I'll just
Okay.
address this. So basically, agentic AI uses tools to access the database, and Select AI could be one of the tools for an agentic AI. If the que- if the usually the LLM that asks frames the query outside the database and then sends it to the database. However, it is possible to pass on the question without doing any sort of SQL transformation in the outside. Just send it to select AI in a procedure as a tool, and you can extract data from the integration of LLM within the database and select AI. And the advantage will be that it can be more fluid in the sense not knowing what the table structure is. You might be able to get better insight because the LLM in the database has all the information about the metadata and it will be more accurate. Right.
Okay, so what you're saying is Select AI can be an MCP, one of the MCP tools um, that an agentic AI can take advantage of. All right, I'm just comparing the two in my head right now and just seeing some similarities and why would anyone, go with Select AI when the industry standard seems to be going towards, model context protocol. And so, what advantages would Select AI bring to the table?
Got it. Yeah, this could be part of the MCP protocol as an additional
Okay.
tool, which is fluid in the database backend. At the same time, if it is just one tool and one job, you can get it done uh, right, right from the database. But nothing is stopping you from exposing it as a tool.
All right. I appreciate that. When it comes to amount of tokens used, right? Obviously, the lower the amount, the better, the lower the cost. Uh, See, this Select AI is this since it's truly integrated with the database, is this uh, better when it comes to lowering the cost um, when compared to going back to the MCP tools that use a whitelist? If you whitelist, it narrows down the tables that it should be looking into. Have there been a comparison between Select AI and with regards to token usage compared to like an MCP server?
Uh, in terms of the service provider you would subscribe to, uh, that is not going to change.
Okay, so they're
Uh,
about the same. Okay.
yeah,
And now
but what?
I'm more
Yeah.
interested in how efficient Select AI compared to uh, using MCP server, the tools in MCP server.
So
I can see.
essentially, uh, what this gives you is a structure where you are, no matter what LLM you are using, you are trying to pre-train it with what the exact column names are. You can even set a profile saying that for this user, you are off limits on rest of the tables except A, B, and C. So you have more structure of
Oh,
what tables it can pick up and what answers it can give. And you can by the definition of the profile of the user, your AI is more controllable in what it can answer. So I feel it is more structured. The chance of making errors because not knowing what the column name and table name is minimal. You can integrate it. Having said that, if you pre-train an agentic with the right tool for doing a job from outside and have passed all the metadata as what to say agentic rules, it probably can do the same thing. It's just how you feel comfortable.
I appreciate that. That was actually a pretty good point. So yes, I could see where its advantages now. Thank you.
Yeah.
And also, Eric, I may not be interested to talk about Select AI roadmap features, what it has in the on the road. I think you have to wait for some time. What a Select AI can, provide more on the agentic space and all that stuff going forward.
All right, so there's more to come. Thank you for that. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Let me continue. Um, Talking about conversations using chat, we can enable a conversations with an attribute called a conversation, which is set to true. And we ask a question to the LLM, what is autonomous database using a chat action. And if we look at the second prompt and we ask the LLM, when did it first release? It was a it refers to autonomous database here. With conversations enabled, LLMs can give us a meaningful response. When it comes to conversations for data, we can combine this with a object list when we use run SQL and other natural language to SQL actions. Uh, Using our movie stream database, we might ask what are our total streams and break out by genre and add a customer segment and then keep the top 5 customer segments and genres by total views. And let's talk about a use case where you provide a custom prompt with the details from your uh, autonomous database table. And let's say you may want to generate a personalized email with activity recommendations for a vacation destination specific to your customer. We have the context from the database in the form of customer information, the demographics, and the interest. We might have another table with various tasks or prompt instructions like recommend 5 great things to do at a location. We can construct our prompt to generate a personalized email. Finally, we submit that prompt to the LLM using the SelectAI chat action to get a compelling personalized promotion uh, complete with emojis. To go into a little more detail of developing such an application, basically we might need to have a customer table and a project task table, and we select a particular task and rules for completing that task for an individual user with their demographic data. We basically join these two tables and get the result, which is shown in this tabular result. And using the JSON underscore object function, we convert this result into a JSON string, which is easily digestible format for the LLM. And then we use this particular dbms underscore cloud underscore AI dot generate function to make a chat request to the LLM using our profile and with our custom prompt. And here's what the response we get from the LLM. And also one of the other feature of SelectAI is synthetic data generation. The goal is
Yeah,
to
1 second, Chandrakant. Just I want to highlight on the previous slide. So so essentially, not only the LLM tries to format or write an email, it is also getting data of email ID, first name, last name from the database. So this example sort of highlights integration of LLM for sort of human readable format presentation with actual data in the database, a combined integration which can be sent. So pretty much what to say, you can say Agentix does. Some of that can be done with the SQL AI. So I just wanted to highlight the advantage here.
And basically, the goal here is to generate a realistic test data with the help of LLMs. And you can quickly start new projects where you don't have data available, allowing your developers to validate the user experience and test the software and the interfaces. And it can also help you in scenarios where um, sensitive production data cannot be made available to development or QA environments. Here is an example of synthetic data generation for a single table, where with the help of this generate synthetic underscore data, I'm giving a profile name GenAI, and the table is director, and the schema is select underscore AI underscore user. I'm basically asking I would like to have 5 rows, and also I'm giving an user prompt who are born after 1950. And if you query that, after it generates the rows, you can query, you will get 5 rows with the names of the directors who are born after 1950. And we can also use this synthetic data generation for multiple tables and optionally with the referential integrity constraints, and you wish to generate data for each. Here you specify the table names and the number of records you want, along with an optional additional prompt per table. In this example, we are saying we want movies released in 2009, and we can see the results here by querying that particular table. And I would like to showcase two demos in this session. One is how we can leverage SelectAI with RAG. This is how the architecture looks like, how we build an vector store with SelectAI. Basically, the first step here is to create the vector store from the documents you have in the cloud storage, and then SelectAI retrieves these documents and chunks them to produce the vectors, which then get stored in the vector store, and then it produces a or creates a vector index. We use that vector index for RAG queries. Since our vector store is in the database, we only have one database, that's autonomous database. And you can also use an separate AI provider, or you can load an Onyx format transformer to use the in database Onyx runtime. This is one of the feature of Oracle machine learning, and it is also exposed with AI vector search. The one thing we need to notice here is select AI and dbms underscore vector. They both use Oracle text for the text extraction, and select AI performs its own chunking, as does dbms underscore vector. And with the narrate action, here is how the flow looks like. With our vector index available, the user basically asks a question using the narrate action, and then select AI sends the prompt to the transformer to generate vectors used to search the vector index and return the top results. It, it then sends the augmented prompt to the LLM, which returns the generated result. You can use your own AI provider or Onyx runtime for your transformer. And afterwards, user gets a response. And also another demo I would like to showcase is a bean bridge is something a fictitious entity. I'm just providing it for illustrative purpose, and it's kind of a data savvy coffee chain operating in three cities, San Francisco, San Jose, and New York. And they are known for espresso classic and bakery items. And they are very tech savvy. You can order with a mobile app, and they also give rewards and personalized offers. And they also run a loyalty program called Bronze, Silver, and Gold. With We will see with autonomous database Select AI, we will explore and get insights with natural language processing. Give me a minute, I'll move to the demo.
Yeah, so while you are getting ready, I just want to add one thing about when you store data in Oracle to for RAG or vector searches. The data is stored in a column, and when Chandrakant mentioned about Onyx models, what that is if you have a sort of a model for vectorizing the text data or audio or video, any data you have, uh, you can do it by subscribing to these LLM providers like ChatGPT or OpenAI, Gork outside the database, or you can load that model in the database and make the database do the embedding. When it comes to cost saving, if it is done within the database and the model is free, you probably are going to save more uh, in terms of embedding or vectorizing all the data you have, if it goes to terabytes, it can become significant. Uh, in which case, the cost will be only for LLM for querying rather than for embedding the data. Just wanted to add that in terms of cost saving as well.
Thanks, Vijay. With the help of an admin user, we are creating a user called select underscore AI user, and we are giving the privileges like OML developer DW role, and also to enable OML, we are running this alter statement. And after this, these are the important grant privileges we are allocating to this particular user, because we need execute a privilege on dbms underscore cloud to access object storage services or to create credentials, and we need execute a privilege on dbms underscore cloud underscore ai for the select ai functionality. And this particular dbms cloud underscore pipeline is required for select ai rag, and we have granted these privileges to this particular user. Let me log in as select ai user. I think I forgot one thing to explain. Let me log out as select ai user and log in back as admin. Basically here I'm using an OpenAI as an API provider. As an admin user, you must configure the network access control to basically allow this particular user to connect to the OpenAI API endpoint. This is what I missed.
That's if you're using OpenAI, right? But if you're using an Onyx, that model that you download, and um, is that about right? I mean, if you like what VJ said earlier, if you could cut costs by basically implementing a model into your database so that it can be used locally.
Well,
Um,
that is only for embedding, for
Embedding.
RAG,
Okay,
but you still have to go out for LLM answers.
understood. Yep, understood.
Okay.
VJ, and that is only if you need that external LLM, right? But if you don't have a need for that, this step can be skipped, correct?
You
Or this is
always have to go
mandatory.
outside the database for the LLM response. Uh, it can be within your what to say Oracle provided Gen AI, but it is still outside the database. The model that answers in human format is not in the database. The model that is in the
Understood.
database is only for embedding, yes.
But you could use an Olama for that, though, right?
Uh,
Even that
I'm
is
just trying to
going to
find
be
out.
outside the database. You cannot load it into the database.
what
Right,
you
but it won't need that HTTP connection, that network setup. I'm just trying to find a way to avoid a network setup because, again, that exposure, I'm thinking of the security exposure.
yeah,
Yeah, even
if
if you
you're
have OLAMA, it will be in your private subnet, but from the database, you still have to get into that private subnet to get the answer.
yeah, you have to allow that network access control list for even for your Olama or Llama CPP models as well.
Eh, okay, even if it's for a local database, not an autonomous database.
Yes, because
That's
you cannot
okay.
load OLAMA into Oracle database.
No, definitely not. It's just that I'm thinking of, like, again, security exposure. But okay, yes, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Basically here we are creating a credential to access the object storage, and then we are creating a credential for the AI provider. In my case, it's an OpenAI. This is the token or a key which we get from OpenAI API website. And then what we are trying to do here is we are trying to create a AI profile um, with OpenAI as a provider, and we have chosen the model as GPT 4.1, and we have a vector index name like rel underscore index, and also I have enabled source offset set to true. Basically, what it does is it only creates an AI profile for me, but it won't create a vector index at this point. And basically, with this particular list objects, I am listing what I have in my the documents what I have in my bucket, which is one is AI vector search user guide, and the other is Oracle Autonomous Database serverless PDF. And um, the vector search basically we use the vector search users guide and the autonomous database serverless guide that we have saved as an individual PDF files in an Oracle object storage in this case. And with the help of SelectAI, we are creating an vector index named rel underscore index. What it will do is it will store the vector embeddings, which are basically the semantic representations of the content from the object storage. And for each document in the object storage, SelectAI breaks it into chunk configured via a parameter called a chunk size and the chunk overlap. And these converts each chunk into a numerical vector using a transformer or an embedding model, and basically stores this vector with their source information for retrieval for similarity search, and then it creates a vector index for optimized retrieval performance. Before creating or creating this index, I would like to talk more on the chunk size and chunk overlap because it affects the retrieval quality. Basically, chunk size is something it controls the size of the document's segment. Smaller the chunk uh, helps you to find specific information but may lose the context. If you have larger chunks, it preserves more context but might include irrelevant information. And chunk overlap is something determines the shared text between the chunks, and it helps maintain contextual connection between adjacent chunks. And also one of the important attribute is refresh rate. A refresh rate is something, it will, for here I have mentioned it as 60 minutes. For every 60 minutes, it will check the contents in the object storage bucket. If you have uploaded any new PDF or any document after 60 minutes, it will make sure that that particular document or a file is embedded uh, by the vector index, so that it forms an entire cycle of RAG where you don't have to manually adjust or do anything. You just upload your documents or files or anything to the object storage, and it will do the embedding for you. The vector index will take care of it. And match limit is something I am just asking the index to return me the top 5 best results. Basically, using this particular user underscore scheduler underscore running jobs, we can see the which pipeline is running. And with this particular block, I'm trying to create a pipeline name and the status table. And we have the pipeline name rel underscore index dollar vector pipeline, and this is the status table. And we can query this view to understand whether the pipeline was able to successfully process these documents or not. And with the help of user cloud vector index attributes, you can see the attributes names and the values you have provided for your index. And you can also look at the pipeline history using this particular view. In my case, I have only one vector index created. And you can also look at the table name it created for this particular index. And the index subtype is neighbor partition IVF. And also you can look at the contents of the your documents with this particular table. And now I am setting the profile, and then we can take advantage of RAG with SelectAI. And basically here I'm asking a prompt with the chat action, what are some of the benefits of RAG using SelectAI? And it gives you a answer basically from the general knowledge of the LLM. And if I ask the same prompt using the narrate action, it gives you the better accurate result using the sources, and it also points you to the sources. Like I'm looking at this particular PDF, and this particular PDF belongs to this particular bucket, and these are the offsets. And also, if you are interested in knowing the accuracy of this particular RAG, and what you have to do is we can run the same prompt with a run SQL action. Here I'm asking this particular prompt, which AI providers that does SelectAI support, and the action I mentioned is run as SQL, and it gives me a score like 0.85. We can consider that as accuracy of the RAG in this case. And basically I have asked a little bit of a complex question, so that I wanted to check whether the vector index will search both the PDFs or not. Basically the prompt was, how can I leverage SelectAI with vector search to build Gen AI application? And it basically looked at both the PDFs and provided me an accurate result. Any questions before I move to the another demo?
Can you show us what the profile had before you enabled it, just for revalidation of the security aspect of it?
Sure. This is the index. Yeah, this is the profile.
Yeah, so what I want to highlight is, uh, because you enabled a profile for a vector index even before creating, you are only going to have access to this profile and the vector tables there. You can have several such vector indexes and table, each one associated with the profile. So you can have several applications managing its own set of data. You just enable the profile and you get to the exact RAG retrieval you want from this. I just wanted to highlight that. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. Yeah.
Okay, let me move to the another demo where we showcase natural language to SQL capabilities. Basically, even for this user, with an admin user, we have to have all the privileges required for SelectAI to work. And in this example, I'll be using Grok 3 model. Basically, these are my tables for that particular Beanbridge coffee shop. And then I have data inserted. Basically here, as it is on the OCI, I'm creating a credential with a fingerprint and the private key, because Grok is available with GenAI service. And you can see the credential created with this particular view. And here I have provided that a credential name, and I'm creating a profile with provider as OCI and the model as XAI Grok 3. And you can look at the profile created with this particular user underscore cloud underscore AI profiles.
Can you just go back to that Grok profile? Uh, so this is Oracle provided LLM Grok model. Just wanted to highlight
Yeah,
that
correct.
you don't have to go outside Oracle subnet in order to access OpenAI or Grok. We provide them as hosted services, which you can subscribe to in your private subnet itself. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And we set this profile. And then basically, with the help of narrate action, I'm basically asking, I would like to know the top 3 best selling products in July 2025 by units. And it gave me an answer. And with the help of show SQL, we can understand what query it has ran in the database and provided it to the LLM to get us an textual description what we see in the narrate action. And also with the narrate, I have asked another prompt or a query, let's say revenue by store for August 2025. And it says, the San Francisco one earned a total of 18.8 in revenue, and the second with San Jose, and the third with the New York store. Basically, you can you can also tell the SelectAI to run the SQL for you. If you would like to have an answer in an running a select query and get an answer instead of a textual description, you can use run SQL and get an answer. And also, if you would like to understand the query what it has ran, you can ask SelectAI with this particular explain SQL and get the answer. Any questions till now? And also, we have a next session in this AI Office Hour series for September. That is a DBA performance expert using AI Assist and Oracle Database 23 AI in your favorite IDE like VS Code using an client extension. If you would like to register, let me give you the registration link. This is where we talk about MCP, SQL CL as a MCP server in the next session. I have sent the landing page. You can go through that and register for the next session. To answer your question, Eric, and in the SelectAI examples, there are steps detailedly provided how to use Onyx runtime model and how to leverage different AI providers with SelectAI, and also how you can set up a RAG with SelectAI. Uh, Thanks everyone for joining and looking forward for the next session. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.